Are we on? Is this the continuation of last year's now?
You're on. I don't have the big red light up here like the WDAV camera.
You just have to cue it.
Yep.
Take
He was so skinny, mashy, it was the worst.
I haven't got Jill's picture.
Don't face it on me now. Andy Tybert was the last one came in here. And then
In the what? In the Riviera here?
Joel went down to stir up the fire a little there.
Oh, okay.
Don't take too much speed here. Let's just leave him and let him decide now.
Contact.
Wrong way. Okay.
This is the T-Craft. Jim turned on me at just the wrong time. I was trying to get him.
He's currently being shown in the 33rd position.
That's the wife, Debbie. She's enjoying the race today.
There's Schrader.
There's Schrader, and there's young Mr. Smith, Stan Smith out of Alabama, former All-American Series champion of NASCAR. Ken Schrader's number 25 is the 12th car on the field.
And he's not too far from being lapped. He's 6 2/10 seconds ahead of Davey Allison right now, as we perhaps going back a little bit further and pick up Dale Jarrett and the car number 22 of Sterling Marlin. They're even closer to being lapped. Well, there's Jarrett in the car number 21 with Lake Speed right on his bumper. Now, Lake is a lap down. He's currently being shown in the 24th position. He was one of those drivers that got caught with the stop-and-go situation. Now, Sterling Marlin is on behind these two cars. Jarrett running in 13th place as Lake Speed tries to move around him on the inside. Jarrett's car has not been handling too good since they made the two-tire change on the green flag pit stop. He would like to have a caution flag.
you're close to that team and that car. It's your son out there in the 21. The Wood brothers, 10 times winners here, but over the past several seasons, they've been rolling a lot of snake eyes. What's happened to the Wood brothers team?
Well, I don't know. Hutch Strickland, the car in second place, is in the pits right now. Let's go to Spence and Mike Joy.
This will be a 4-tire stop, Ned. Glenn Bobo there on the left side getting those lugs loosened up. Gas going in. And Hutt had complained the car was a little bit too tight on the stagger, so they'll adjust that with the match between the left rear and the right rear tire that they put on this time. You notice that Bobo, who took the tires off the left side, quickly jumped over the pit wall so they wouldn't have too many men over. Mike, the fellas come around to the right to fix it. Ken?
Mike, the leader is coming in as well. Davey Allison is in 24 seconds on Strickland, and here comes the 28. Davey Allison's been out in front. Here's Neil.
Here we are, Ken. They roll in. Davey came in, stopped it right on the money. Joey Knuckles pulling the left sides off. The guys getting the right sides. They're putting the gas in it. The last time it was just right sides. They can put the lefts on and get another set of rights virtually free here. They're going to 4-tire the car. They're not turning any wedge. All they're talking about is working with stagger on this car. As good as this thing's running, I think they're afraid to touch those wedge bolts. So a little fine-tuning with the stagger is all they need. He's got her down in a way. It's a good stop.
25-second stop all the way around on car number 28. 4 tires and fuel. Here's Mike.
And here's Dale Earnhardt for 4 tires. The left front of that car showing an awful lot of tire rubbing, but it did not look as if the fender or that front spoiler was bent in against the tires. Pretty good 4-tire change for Earnhardt.
Car number 30 making its pit stop. Had been running third for a moment. Riding with Michael Waltrip, the pole sitter. And holding that speed right down. Doesn't want to get a ticket.
Nope, not the thing you want to do right now. He's pitting down towards turn 1. And now he sees his pits, see the crew come across the wall and start to work. Clean the windshield, change the right side tires. They're putting gas on the left side, and it looks like they are going to make a 4-tire change. We saw them putting tires across the wall over there. Yes, they do. The jackman goes around. Here goes the tire changers. They lost the chief engine builder on this car a couple of weeks ago, Kenny Wilson, who will become the general manager of the car number 8, the Stavola Brothers car. Now Michael gets his service complete. That doesn't seem to be having a great effect on this team so far.
Careful, Michael.
Well, he was almost out at the end of pit road, so he was pretty close to the position that he could stand on it.
Another man who is left with that new Stavola team is Pete Wright, who was one of the co-crew chiefs for Junior Johnson in his absence over that 4-race restrainer from NASCAR. Pete Rice is going to join Wilson with Stavola. And it was interesting that Junior said, you know, if the time is appropriate, come back.
Yes, he said if you get where you don't like it over there, he said you'll always have a job here. So that's very nice. Here comes Rick Wilson in. Rick Wilson, that's Ernie Irvin. Rick Wilson drove that car about 2 or 3 years ago. I should get caught up, shouldn't I? And here's Mark Martin as well.
You just make me feel, you're trying to make me feel good. Michael Walter trying to get him in that IndyCar race last week. Here's Irvin's number 4 on the pit road, and you saw Mark Martin's number 6 in for a moment. So in this shuffle that's taking place, we're at lap 128. Ernie Irvin for the moment has been the leader. Martin then was in second. This is going to put Waltrip back in the lead with those 2 guys both on pit road. Mike Joy is down there in Mark Martin's pit.
And they're looking for a speedy 4-tire change as well. Left side of the car up, fueling now complete. Whoa, CP real this time. Didn't bother to call Mark on the radio. He was just motioning him out of there, and he's gone.
Well, a little longer pit stop for Ernie Irvin in the car number 4 because Martin came in behind him and went out at least a couple of seconds ahead of him.
So this puts Darrell Waltrip's number 17 up on the point for the moment here at Michigan. It's an absolutely letter-perfect weather day. Couldn't have it better. The wind has died down. We were having some pretty gusty experiences here this morning, to 25, 30 miles an hour. That has abated. This man doing what he usually does midway in the race. Waltrip beginning to be assertive in this Michigan 400. As we watch him, you know, he's the owner-driver. That's a new team look. I'd like to ask Ned, the rumor is that the Redskins coach, Joe Gibbs, is going to bring out a Winston Cup team next year. What do you know about that?
Well, I understand he's been talking to some people in the sport. He is a race fan, and Jerry Glanville, the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, took a driving course recently down in Atlanta. I don't think he's going to become a race driver, but there is interest in those coaches in the NFL, and so it'd be interesting to see if Joe Gibbs, you know, he was a drag racer once himself, and so he has a little bit of racing experience. Let's go to the pits now with Neil Bonnie.
Ned, we're down here with Bill Elliott. They're doing a 4-tire stop on him. I was talking to Ernie Elliott just before he came in. He said the motor's been skipping since the race started, but the car was sure moving up to the fact to kill the motor taking off. He got it going. How many times have we talked to Ernie Elliott when that thing was driving away and he said he was having motor trouble? It sure looked like it's running good to me.
He was going up through the field pretty good, Neil, even if he was having that engine problem. The car looked like it was handling well. Dale Jarrett coming into the pits now for his pit stop. He had moved up through the 4th position as a result of the pit stops.
So it's the second stop for fuel under a green flag condition, and the day still is dominated by Davey Allison. More from Michigan shortly.
Saturday, the Whiz Ozzie Smith ignites the Cardinals against Ryne Sandberg and the hard-hitting Cubs. Baseball's biggest moments are on CBS.
One car manufacturer has more NHRA Pro Stock victories than anyone, setting more national records than anyone, including 5 consecutive world championships. That car manufacturer is Ford. And that kind of winning performance goes beyond the winner's circle.
If you want to keep repair costs down, remember, Fram oil filters protect your engine better because they stop more dirt the first time through than any other filter. Fram, you could pay a little now or a lot later.
Get huge savings on big names during Sears 4th of July paint sale, like Weather Beater, Easy Living, Dutch Boy, Olympic Stain, and more. This premium Weather Beater low luster satin finish on sale only $13.99. Hurry, sale ends July 6th at Sears.
All of these championship-winning drivers have one thing in common: Goodyear Racing Eagles. The race-winning technology that's found in the Goodyear Racing Eagles can also be found in the world's best-selling line of high-performance street tires, Goodyear Eagle Street Radials. The champions know, and it's why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
We'd all like to keep our car looking new. That's why so many people use Armor All Protectant. Armor All cleans and shines the rubber, plastic, and vinyl. And it protects all those surfaces too. So Armor All makes your car look like new and helps it last longer. And that makes you look pretty smart. Armor All, it keeps you looking good.
Next Saturday on CBS Sports, it's 3rd round coverage of the Federal Express St. Jude Classic. Last year, Tom Kite hit this putt, first hole of sudden death play, to claim the crown. He'll return to Germantown, Tennessee to defend the honors. That's next Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3rd round coverage of the Federal Express St. Jude Classic here on CBS. At Michigan International Speedway in the Michigan 400, after a dandy start, this race is somewhat stabilized. Looking at the standings after this second green flag stop, Darrell Waltrip, for the moment, has the advantage. Ricky Rudd finds himself in 2nd place. Then in 3rd is Ken Schrader. In 4th is Davey Allison. And running 5th, Hut Strickland. And that changes as we speak. Ricky Rudd has just pulled onto pit road, the first of that threesome that's getting the long mileage here today. He's come back on the track. That will move Schrader up into 2nd place. Waltrip continues to be the leader, looking for his 82nd win out there in old 17. And we have one more stop for fuel in this race, Ned. And these guys with the long range, shall we say, cars, they might have an advantage the way this thing is shaking out.
Well, the advantage that they would have, I think everybody else can stop one more time to make it as far as the fuel is concerned. But the advantage they have is keeping out there running. Should they be able to catch a caution, it just gives them that many more laps if a caution should come out and and let them stop under caution where most everybody else is stopped under green.
Well, let's just see how much farther Darrell will carry this car number 17. We're at lap 137 complete here. About 40 laps, 43 laps. Tank of fuel, 44.
Yeah, he should be able to go that far, maybe even as much as 45. You see what's happened right now when I was talking about catching that caution. Right now, there are only 8 cars in the lead lap. But when he comes in, he and Schrader, then that's going to put a bunch of other cars back in the lead lap.
Speaking of Schrader, Mike Joy is down in his pits.
I'm looking at Richard Broom, and Richard, I see that look on your face. It looks like you're getting ready to roll the dice again.
Well, I'm a little bit concerned about it. I think we can make it on one more stop. That's what we're shooting for.
How many laps is that going to be? 55 on a tank full?
Yeah, we're doing about 55, maybe 58 laps.
So you're hoping this thing stays green all the way?
Yeah, I'd like to see it stay green. I think we'll be okay.
And if it does, they might be the only car out there without having to make a second stop. Chris?
We're sitting here with a man from another form of the sport after 25 years in racing. This man, Doug Shears from nearby Avian, Michigan. His car won the Indianapolis 500 last year with Ari Landijk. You sold your equipment and you got out. Now, rumors say you're looking at stock car racing. Are we going to see a Doug Shearson car in this form of the sport?
Well, if the right opportunity comes along, Chris, for a competitive effort, yes, I would like to make an effort.
Okay, is this the first race you've seen this year?
Yes, it's the first race I've been to.
Okay, well, we'll be looking for you, Doug. Okay, let's go down now to Neil Bonnet.
Here we are down here with Darrell Waltrip's crew. They're going to put 4 tires. They're stretching the mileage just like Ned said. I talked to Jeff Hammond. He says some days you can't just flat out run them. You got to run them a little bit and outsmart them. So they're trying to work the tires, the fuel mileage, and everything as far as they possibly can go. And this bunch is the best in the world at doing it. The motor's dead. They got the ether going in the carburetor opening. They're pushing it. That's stretching it about as far as you can go. You got to be careful with that ether. It'll tear the motor up sometime on the restart, but he's going away with it now.
Waltrip back underway. So Schrader inherits first place. And this is a replay of what we saw in this last green flag stop.
When Schrader has already gone 55 laps one time today, and when Mike Joy was talking to Richard Broom there a moment ago, and he's talking about going to one more stop. You know, a moment ago, you and I were talking about everybody else making on one more stop. See, Ken Schrader hadn't made the stop that everybody else has, so he's going to make one less pit stop if they can pull that off than everybody else. And that just might be the trick that'll pull it off for him if it stays green.
Here he is around H.B. Bailey, just up in front of Richard Petty's car number 43. Ken Schrader in the 25 car for the moment has the lead. He's won a couple of times this year. He'd sure like to win here today in this $700,000 payoff in Michigan.
When I think of the All-Star Games, I think of great players, great plays, and having a great time.
In America, your car doesn't just get you from here to there. It's a part of your life. To give your car complete protection, Texaco is introducing new Haviland Formula 3 motor oil with not one but 3 kinds of protection against heat stress, starting friction, and engine dirt. New Haviland Formula 3. Add more life to your car.
A Motorcraft spark plug has to fire 500 times a minute. Over its life, that's a spark 5 miles long. Shouldn't you install that peace of mind? Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
When your office is 200,000 acres of rugged, prevent anything from happening to it, you need a deodorant you can depend on. Men count on Old Spice deodorant. It works to prevent odor, to neutralize it before it starts. There's nothing else this effective with the clean classic scent of Old Spice.
Hi, Ann. Just at the office.
You bet. Old Spice deodorant, because prevention is the ultimate form of protection. Count on it.
In simpler times, toothpaste came in tubes. Though easy to squeeze, they could get messy. Along came pumps. People liked the control, but missed the squeezy. Now, with much fanfare, Crest introduces Neat Squeeze. easily squeezable, with the control of a pump and a pullback feature that makes brushing a lot less messy and a lot more fun. The all-new Neat Squeeze from Crest.
40 years of change in Soviet Russia, from Stalin to Gorbachev, from the gulags to Glasnost, on 60 Minutes tonight, followed by Sunday dinner and a special encore performance of All in the Family. Then, Murder, She Wrote, and finally, The Trials of Rosie O'Neill. That's tonight on CBS. Here at Michigan, on lap 144, Ken Schrader is trying to duplicate a feat that he did earlier this year.
Yes, he wanted Atlanta by making one pit stop less than everyone else can, and they're on track to do that today. As a matter of fact, if he runs another lap or so here, it looks like that he would be able to maybe pull it off.
However, Allison's brute speed has nearly overcome the advantage of Schrader's fuel mileage earlier today. Allison's only 3 4/10 seconds behind Schrader right now.
And then when Schrader comes into the pits, well, of course, he would have to, he'll perhaps lose almost a lap. So, yeah, it might not work as far as Davey Allison is concerned as fast as he is running.
He's waving to Richard Petty behind him. Richard running back there in the 21st spot. Looks like this may be it for Schrader. Fades up the track pretty high, though.
Well, but he's going to come and keep his speed up as high as he can until he gets at the entrance of pit road. They have to be slowed down to 55 miles an hour when they get to that first pit.
That's right. Doesn't want to get caught by that man in those well-polished boots with a pencil and pad out there. Let's go to Mike Joy.
Well, if the tire changers, Ken, are the wide receivers of this team, and the jackman is the ball carrier, it makes the gas men the linemen. And they are the critical guys on this stop if Kenny Schrader is going to go all the way. Rick Yancey has that gas can up in the air, and Ken Church is ready to hand him the second can. Now, this team will change all 4 tires as Kenny waves off a drink. Charlie Seegers is the catch can man. He's one of the members of the Hendrick Engine Shop. And getting all of that fuel in there so he can go that 55 laps is the most critical mission of this pit stop. Fueling is complete. Left side tires finishing up. David Oliver wipes some debris off the grill, and there goes Schrader in a great 20.6 seconds.
That was a good pit stop for a 4-tire change.
Schrader, who likes to drive anything, midgets, sprint cars, a little concerned, like many of these people who have seen him race, about the condition of Don Schilling, who was injured up in Winchester. It was nice to hear the reports that he's coming along well and intends to stay in the sport, perhaps more of a designer of those very fast and very tricky race cars. Hope he's watching today and enjoying our Michigan 400, which now has 147 laps down. And the issue is, can Schrader really stretch the mileage that kind of distance to the checkers? We'll just have to wait and see.
It's the America at its best sweepstakes. Win a trip for 4 to the All-Star Game, plus $5,000 cash. Look for this special insert in selected June 23rd Sunday newspapers.
Fact. Ford outsells Chevrolet and every other American competitor. Fact. Across the country, Ford outsells Honda, Nissan, and Toyota combined. Fact. Every year for the past 4 years, Ford has had the best-selling cars and trucks in America. Call it leadership, call it winning, call it anything you want. The simple fact is, Ford is #1. Have you driven a Ford lately? Cold filtered, Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
If you don't like the looks of your car, shoot it with Son of a Gun from STP. Shoot the dash, seats, tires, and roof. Son of a Gun protectant. Man, what a difference.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day. Find
It's one of the most technologically advanced, most rigorously tested fluids on Earth, relentlessly measured for maximum protection against the friction, the wear and tear, the heat and stress of today's engines. It is today's Quaker State. In Europe, in Japan, in America, Quaker State quality has passed the most demanding tests automakers can throw at it. At Quaker State, we don't just say we're tough, we're tested tough. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
This Michigan 400 race summary is sponsored by Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil. In the race summary, after 294 of 400 miles, there have been 11 different leaders. The lead changes, 24 of them. The record is 50, which goes back to 1974. The average speed's a whopper, 159.2 miles an hour. The old record, Rusty Wallace in 88 at 153.5. Just one caution period early in the going for 4 laps, and 6 cars have found their way to the garage area around for the finish of this one. Those include Derek Koch, Jeff Bodine, Bill Venturini, Eddie Bierswale. Jim Sauter is now out. Brett Bodine has just gone back behind the wall, and at 6, they were giving us an indication that Rick Wilson was having trouble.
But he's going back out on the track right now. He did go to the garage area again, but they went in the garage area and did some work on it, so he's going back out.
Now, as the speed stays at 159 miles an hour, Ned, and we have Davey Allison out in front here, followed by Hut Strickland and Dale Earnhardt and Mark Martin. The issue is, earlier today, we saw a 54-lap run made by Schrader. Now, can he stretch it another 2 laps?
Yeah, I think he can probably go that far, but his problem is, as we talked about a little bit ago, the brute speed of Davey Allison. Ken Schrader is a lap down right now. When he made that last pit stop, he went a lap down. In fact, he's being shown in the 13th position. So even if Davey Allison stops, if he makes a good pit stop, he can still get back out close to where Ken Schrader is on the racetrack, and would have 4 fresh tires and should be able just to pull away from him again. So I don't think that the tremendous gas mileage will win the race today unless something happens to Davey Allison, but it will help him to get a much higher finish because everybody between he and the front are going to have to stop.
The Davey Allison, number 28, has a 7 1/10 advantage last time by over that number 12 of Hut Strickland, as the Alabama contingent continues to run 1-2. Let's take a look at just how that looks on this 2-mile deep-shaped track. Again, if you're just joining us, Davey Allison has been the story here as he was at Winston on CBS back in May. Take a look at the interval that he has developed over one of his relatives, Hut Strickland. That's the interval from 1st to 2nd spot. Now looking further back to Dale Earnhardt, who is in 3rd spot. There you see right behind the Strickland car, Schrader, and it's 1 9/10 seconds. Back to Dale Earnhardt in 3rd. He looks pretty strong right now. Staying 4th on the field is Mark Martin in the number 6. Here's Earnhardt coming back to the line, the defending champion in this race. Here's Mike Joy.
Well, Ken, like a big rubber band, this field is all stretched out, and it's going to snap back together again right about lap 200. Hut Strickland has to stop right around lap 170. If the other teams do as well, that'll put Ken Schrader right back up on the lead lap and up in the field, and about lap 200, they might all be back together again. Neil?
Yeah, I'm down here in Davey Allison's pit. They feel pretty confident. The situation, they got Schrader a lap down. Even though he doesn't have to stop, they got him a lap down, and then they're able to run faster lap times. He's running faster than Schrader. They think they've got enough cushion to make that stop for fuel. Let's go to Chris Economaki.
That 7-second lead that Davey Allison holds, only 4 times in the 22-year history of this race, starting in 1969, has anyone had a bigger lead at this point in the race. And from the standpoint of safety, last year there was an accident, but 3 of the last 6 races there have been no crashes, 4 of the last 7. Door-handle racing. It's a testament to the skills of the men we see on the track here, who we've not seen any accidents in today's race.
Absolutely, Chris, and a testament, too, to this very fine racetrack. It is a forgiving racetrack as far as crashes are concerned, but you've really got to be right to get around this thing. We'll talk about that more with Neil Bonnet when we return, and we'll return with more live coverage of the Michigan 400 after this message and a word from your local station.
you buy Valvoline motor oil, you get quality, high performance, protection, and now, for a limited time only, great taste. It's Valvoline's 125th birthday. And right now, when you buy 12 quarts of Valvoline and buy 12 cans of any Coca-Cola product, we'll pay for the Coca-Cola product. People who know use Valvoline. With other motor oils, you just won't get the great taste of Coca-Cola Classic.
If your minivan needs brakes, come to Midas. You get trained technicians, guaranteed quality parts, a good price, and a lot of value. For brakes done right, bring your minivan to Midas. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
What do I know about kitchen stuff?
Small appliances.
Plug.
Outlet.
Want to know any more? Ask Ace.
This Windmere 12-inch 3-speed oscillating fan only $13.99, and the Hose King hose wheel is just $19.99.
Hey, Ace is the place for me.
Let me tell you.
40 years of change in Soviet Russia. From Stalin to Gorbachev. From gulags to glasnost. 60 Minutes, tonight.
This is CBS. It's Lundy's $2.5 billion hail damage sale on our entire inventory of new and used cars and trucks. We've settled with our insurance company, and we must sell these cars. To do that, we are offering you the highest trade-in allowances and the lowest prices. Many of these cars have very little damage, but all will be discounted for this sale. Save up to 50% on used cars and trucks, too. Hurry in for best selection and savings during Lundy's $2.5 billion hail damage sale at the intersection of I-29 and Main Avenue, just west of the Kelly Inn, Fargo.
On Channel 4, it's more than just a game. It's the best, the baddest, the biggest games in baseball. Let CBS Sports take you there with the hottest team coverage on TV. Plus, a complete wrap-up of all the day's sports each night with Dennis Silva on News 4. Baseball and Channel 4, a winning team. Watch weather for your life tonight with Vanita Sakar.
Coming up on CBS, there's more racing this summer. On Saturday, July 13th, 5 o'clock Eastern, Junior Johnson, the legend himself, battles Cale Yarborough, Pete Hamilton, Larry Frank, the great Tim Flock. Battle of the NASCAR Legends on CBS Saturday, July 13th. A battle of giants out here today at Michigan International Speedway with Davey Allison continuing to set sail. About to move in on Dave Marcus in car number 71. David just keeps on trucking in 17th position at the present time, going around Jimmy Means and Alan Kowicki. A report from Neil Bonnet down on pit road.
Ken, I've been back in Davey Allison's pit. They're not going to stretch the fuel to the maximum limit. They feel like if they go as far as they can, they won't not have enough laps left to make up some time. They're going to pit his car earlier than normal, somewhere between 25 and 30 laps to go. Throw him 2 right side tires on. They feel like the car is fast enough. If they give him some extra time, even if he gets behind, he can make it up. So he's not going to go the limit on fuel. He's going to go to a certain distance and then see if he can run him back down.
Neil, what about this racetrack? What do you have to be careful about when you're driving here?
You can overrun a car here, Ken. There's very few racetracks that you can attack too hard. If you can get a good smooth pace, run smooth up off these corners, the lap times are there. When you get aggressive and try to run hard, you're scrubbing off speed in these corners. And that's why you see somebody like Davey, once he gets that rhythm down and he gets the lead, he can maintain the lead easier than he can work traffic. Right now, he's dictating the pace and he's driving away.
Joey Knuckles working the clock for Davey Allison there, keeping very careful time of what he does every lap all the way around. Marcus is making a pretty good run with him right now.
Yeah, he's hanging tough there, no doubt about it. Dave will race you. He's about to go 2 laps down. We see Rick Mast there, who continues to have a tough day, and that green and black car there with Stanley Smith.
Well, as they flirt with danger moving around those moving ponds out here, Dave Marcus in the 71 hangs tough with Davey Allison in the 28. And again, he's running in 17th, being shown 2 laps down.
There are only 10 cars in the lead lap right now. Darrell Walton is in 10th place, and he's only about a second in front of Davey Allison. That would be the next car he would lap once he gets around Dave Marcus. Of course, the leader is Davey Allison. Second place is still Hut Strickland. Dale Earnhardt third, Mark Martin fourth, and Michael Waltrip fifth.
Ned, I think the racing family has been really shattered in the past several days. with the passing of Benny Parsons' wife, Connie, who was an instrumental person in the Winston Wives Auxiliary, a great lover of this sport and a great fan.
I'll tell you, it's one of the saddest things we've had happen in this sport for a long, long time, and it was so sudden, Ken. She had a gallbladder operation, and things just continued to go downhill. Of course, she passed away a week ago today, and certainly the racing world has poured out their hearts and prayers and best wishes to Benny.
Our condolences to a former winner of this event, former national champion Benny Parsons, a very good friend, and to his sons, Keith and Kevin. Taking a look at the running order here today, as we watch Davey continue to dominate this race, as he did the 600, as he did the Winston. Going into turn number 3. Neil Bonnet, you kind of grew up around these Allisons and that whole family thing in Alabama about racing. You're a major portion of the Alabama gang. What's this guy got going?
Again, I tell you what, these guys are doing it like I felt like it needed to do. They've always ran the short track. Davey ran the short tracks. He got into ARCA type racing, and then he worked his way in Winston Cup. But Strickland ran a lot of short track programs. He worked up and ran the Super Speedway stuff in the Daytona Dash, and now they've worked themselves into these race cars, and they're contenders to win every week.
And they're running first and second right now.
Yes, sir, and they look like they're going to be off the top. Ken, you'd asked me a question a little bit earlier, and we had to go to something else down on pit road about the Wood brothers. The Dale Jarrett drives for them now. Dale's currently in the 11th position. And what had happened as far as their dominance is concerned. Of course, Neil Bonnet drove for them 2 different times in his career and had a very successful career with them, especially the first time around. They are beginning to come back now, I think. Maybe they had sort of stood still for a while or had not gained as much as some other teams, but they're coming back now, and they've had some awfully good runs this year, close to victory.
A lot of us want to see those Wood brothers back in victory lane. They're a very special family in racing. We'll be back with more live from Michigan in a moment.
After 18 years of producing the world's most popular line of personal watercraft, we're giving people another way to enjoy our company. Introducing the Kawasaki Sport Cruiser with side-by-side seating. There's literally nothing else like it. But perhaps the best reason for owning a sport cruiser is that above all, it's a jet ski watercraft. If it isn't Kawasaki, it isn't jet ski.
Today, a guy losing his hair can choose between being the man he wants to be.
You look great with hair. Do something to save it.
And the man he could become.
Can't you accept nature like everyone else?
Doctors have hair loss treatment programs that are proven to work, and the sooner you see a doctor, the better.
We don't want nature, we want hair.
When you considered the arguments...
We might look great bald.
And you decide you want hair, there's only one thing to do. See your doctor, or call this number for more information.
This bench gets a professional finish with Krylon spray paint. No runs, no drips, no air. Dries to the touch in minutes. The other brand's still tacky.
Wow! What a game!
Good game, Mr. Euchre.
Hey, she's a lot tougher than she looks.
For a fast, smooth, professional finish, get Krylon.
Pennzoil. At home in America. Charlotte, North Carolina. NASCAR, USA. This is where they build race cars and the engines that power them. And those engines, they don't come cheap. So what motor oil goes in this race car? The same straight-off-the-shelf Pennzoil quality that goes in your car. You know the one. Pennzoil. Ever since America learned to drive.
This CBS Sports Special, the Michigan 400, is sponsored by Kawasaki Motors Corporation. USA, Kawasaki, let the good times roll. Valvoline, people who know use Valvoline. And by Ford Motorcraft Quality Parts.
We're showing 170 laps complete. There's a great battle between 30 and 4. Waltrip and Urban for 4th. And at this moment, the leader is coming down on the pit road. Davey Allison's car, number 28, is in the pits. Here's Neil.
Here he is, Ken. Look at him putting the hood pin in the front of the car. Davey told him and said there was a hood pin. They were concerned about getting black flag with that. They're going to do 2 right side tires just like they told us. They're pumping it full of gas right now. They just want to get the tires on in case he's got to run them back down. They got the pin in. It really had a concern. They're okay now.
In 13.6, he's out. Now Earnhardt, who had been running in third, pitted in 11.5. And he's back on the track. The lead goes over to Hut Strickland in car number 12. Another time here today. It's a battle on pit road as well as on the speedway in this Michigan 400. Here's the battle on the racetrack for the moment that features the man who sat on the pole, Michael Waltrip, and Ernie Irvan in a scramble for third spot. Hut Strickland is first, Mark Martin second.
But Waltrip is coming into the pits. Michael Waltrip in the Chuck Ryder Pontiac coming into the pits. Mark Martin is coming down pit road right now, as well as Rusty Wallace. Of course, Rusty a couple laps down.
Mark Martin in second place, just out here in front of Michael Waltrip in the number 30. Mike?
Well, they're trying to get Hut Strickland in, and apparently he cannot hear crew chief Jimmy Fennig on the radio. They've just asked NASCAR to black flag Strickland so they can give him some gas and tires.
Well, he's coming off of turn 4, coming down towards the start-finish line. He's not getting the black flag. I don't know if they accommodate him that way or not, but anyway, Hut stays out there, continues to circle.
My, how times have changed, Ned. Yeah. Was it you get a black flag and everybody's hackles went up. Now they want some help. Average speed is at 165.25. Race record 153 by Rusty Wallace back in '88. Just that one brief period. Some 4 laps under caution in the early going. There's the rookie Teddy Musgrave having a dandy day in car number 55. That rookie driver getting lapped, and here comes the 12 car on pit road.
Mike, the reason they were so anxious to get him in is he's not in danger of running out of gas, but rather they were afraid that with Davey having fresh tires, Davey would run away from him. So now here comes Hut Strickland at the NASCAR mandated 55 miles an hour, and as he's 1 pit away, Chris Bean jumps over the wall with the jack. It'll be right side tires only. They're signaling 2 to driver Hut Strickland, that it's only 2 tires. Second can of gas going in. Trying to get that right front tire changer rushed around, and as he does, away goes Strickland in 14.1 seconds.
And they put his number up on the board, Ned.
Yeah, they didn't give him a black flag, but they did put his number on the board, and I'm sure Hut saw that when he came around, so he came in the next lap.
And that board is an electronic board that's right down below the flag stand. It's right into the driver's face as they dive beneath the flag stand here in Michigan. But he got the message that he was wanted on pit road. Now here's Ernie Irvan, who for the moment had inherited first place. He's on the pit road, and Ricky Rudd will find himself back up on top another time.
Well, I'm not sure if Ricky will be out front or not. Davey Allison is right in front of him on the racetrack, and
Davey's made up enough time to stay in front.
I think that's what's happened. Sterling Marlin just making his last pit stop. So is Dave Marcus. They're packing all the gas they can get in Ernie Irvan's car, it looks like. Trying to get enough in to go these last 25 laps.
175 complete and 25 to go. Number 5. But Allison has come back out on the track and circulated around. There's the 28 of Davey. And we believe has himself that advantage. There you see the 5 car just behind him. So indeed, it's Davey Allison first, Ricky Rudd in second, as we get down to the finish of the Michigan 400.
One car manufacturer has more NASCAR victories than anyone. Winning over 350 NASCAR races. Over 4 decades of racing. That car manufacturer is Ford. And that kind of winning performance goes beyond the winner's circle.
Those whose romance with the road is rekindled with each sunrise. Beautiful mornings begin at 8. Super 8 Motels.
How hot can it get inside your car's engine? 570 degrees under extreme conditions. Take a leading motor oil. Take Mobil 1. Of course, Mobil 1 costs more. But under extreme conditions, when you see what can happen to conventional motor oil, it doesn't pay to play with fire. Mobil 1, isn't your car worth the extra protection? The all-time Indy 500 winner just changed his oil. Mobil 1 welcomes Roger Penske to the team.
No better way to face the day. When the sun comes up, then I'm feeling fine. 'Cause the AM surely is my favorite time.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's what more men reach for. To prepare, to prevent, to protect. Speed Stick, 110% protection.
No better way to face the day. No better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
Next Saturday on CBS Sports at 1 p.m. Eastern, Major League Baseball has a couple of Eastern Divisional rivalries. Most of the country will see the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs, while others will see the Boston Red Sox against the Baltimore Orioles. And National League East standings, surprising St. Louis in second place these days. And that American League game, those Red Sox, they've been just a percentage point up on Toronto, literally tied for first for the past 7 days. And, of course, Baltimore has Cal Ripken, who's leading the American League in batting. Ought to be a fun day for baseball next Saturday here on CBS. Bill Elliott has just come out of the pits. He had been running in second place in front of Waltrip, Flood, and Earnhardt. So with Elliott's pit stop, there you see Bill back on the track trying to turn this season around. Gone scoreless for the first 13 races as far as the win column is concerned. Darrell Waltrip finds himself back in second spot looking for his third Winston Cup victory of the season. Ricky Rudd is up to third. Dale Earnhardt's in fourth. Hutch Strickland's in fifth. And this is the guy they're chasing. Young Davey Allison. With Ned Jarrett, I'm Ken Squire. Top side, 20 laps to go on the Michigan 400. And down racetrack side is a guy who very much would like to be out there today, Neil Bonnett.
And I tell you what, Bill Elliott just came in. He's the only one of the leaders I saw that put fuel only. They're working on some track position. They put fuel only in the car, and he left. Harry Gant came back completely out of fuel, shaking the car, trying to get that last shot coming down pit road. So these guys are trying to get back out there as quick as possible.
It's going to be pretty hard to beat this 28 this afternoon.
Yes, it is. The car is running so well, and even though it might have been a little bit loose along the way, it still is running fast. And he's passing Michael Waltrip there, the pole sitter. He is off the pace right now. Something is awry in the engine off that Pontiac number 30 of Michael Waltrip, who has run so good, been in the top 5 most of the day, won his second pole of the year here for this race, but now is off the pace.
And he had fate working with him throughout that whole day of qualifying. Back on Friday, that time period in the afternoon, one cloud came over the Michigan Speedway for exactly 3 minutes. It was at that particular moment that Michael Waltrip made that run. He had been running well all week, but he got a blessing.
Yeah, he had been running fast enough. He was a contender for the pole, but he did get a little bit of help, so he whipped him pretty good once he went out there under that cloud. Ricky Rudd now about to come into the pits. He was running in third place. This will be his last pit stop.
And here you see the 10th place car, Morgan Shepherd, about to go a lap down. Morgan's had another good run for Bud Moore in that Ford today. But Davey Allison, that car has worked from the minute they took it off the truck. 17 laps before they can take those uniforms off, hang them up on the clothesline. Here at Michigan this afternoon, getting down to the finish of this one, $720,000 to be divvied up very shortly. And for the moment, it looks like Davey Allison's to take home. Major portion thereof.
Well, if he does, he would be the first driver this year to win 3 Winston Cup races.
Or if you want to count the Winston.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, I was talking about points race. Now, Dale Earnhardt has moved around, or is about to move around, Hutch Strickland. A good battle going on here at the start-finish line between the second and third place cars as Davey Allison continues to try to...
Michael slowing down. Mike Looks like it's about over for him.
Mentioned earlier that he apparently had lost a cylinder. As we look out the windshield of his car, and he can just sit there and drive it, and knowing that he's not going anywhere and he's going to be losing positions from here on.
There's Earnhardt's number 3 closing in on Hut Strickland. Battle for third. What a great run for the Bobby Allison team today. That number 3, which has been so formidable in the early season. Neil, you drove this car, number 3, one time, right? You drove Earnhardt's car. I guess he's running around down on pit road there.
I found out what the deal is.
Neil?
Really good.
Neil Bonnet, Ken Squire.
Ken, before we were talking, I saw Larry McReynolds really getting excited and talking to the NASCAR officials. He's concerned about the 30 car or lap car running slow on the inside. He's concerned that the car blows up and a caution comes out. They're running strong, but they don't want a caution flag, and he's really concerned about a car running slow on the apron like that.
Thanks for the information. We were just inquiring, isn't it true you drove this number 3 one time for Earnhardt?
Ken, you'll have to come back. I'm sorry, one more time.
It's my understanding that you drove that Earnhardt car at one time.
Oh, I sure did. I was up at Martinsville, and they qualified, and Dale had to go back home. He said, hop in this thing and drive it for me tomorrow. And I told him I really lost a lot of respect for him. That's a heck of a race car, but I was joking with him. Dale gets around. That thing of Richard Childress and Earnhardt is super strong, I tell you.
I understood you told him that they paid him too much for driving a car that was that easy to run.
I told you that when we wasn't on TV. I didn't want Earnhardt crawling on me tomorrow.
Rick Mass has just pitted car number 1, and here's the number 3 car of Earnhardt closing in another time on car number 12, Hut Strickland, as they fight for that third spot. Second spot is Waltrip, Davey Allison up in first. Mike Joy?
Ken, Mike Waltrip told his crew he could go the distance. They have dropped a cylinder, and now apparently they may have lost another one. NASCAR has flagged the 30 car, and owner Chuck Ryder just walked past on his way to the garage, and I bet that's where Michael's headed.
Still out there, still going. Car number 30, but it's all coming apart as he runs in 14th position. Davey Allison continues in the lead. Darrell Waltrip waits in second spot, a couching lion ready to pounce. And third is Strickland, with 4th Earnhardt, 5th Mark Martin, 6th Ernie Irvan, 7th is Schrader, 8th is Elliott, 9th is Ricky Rudd, 10th is Morgan Shepherd, 11th is Gant, 12 is Marlin, 13 is Dale Jarrett, and 14th is Michael Waltrip for the moment. 15th is Mickey Gibbs. 16th is Bobby Hillen. 17th is Dave Marcus, and Rusty Wallace is up to 18th. That's the best that he's shown on the board today. 19th is Joe Rutland, and rounding them out in the 20th position, Terry Labonte.
And since that was on the board, Dale Jarrett has moved around to the Sterling Marlin car and has moved into 12th. His mother and the rest of the family will be glad to hear that. Now, Cuckoo Marlin won't be so happy to hear it back in Columbia, Tennessee. He's the father of Sterling. So we're getting down near the end. There should be 10 laps to go when he comes back in.
Strickland passed Earnhardt 4 laps ago to take that third spot. They all beat Granada. Davey Allison, who's won 2 races in every season since '87. Looks like he's ready to stretch this one to 3 this season.
Now, Darrell Waltrip is still out there. He hasn't made this last pit stop. No, he's about to right now as I speak. He was running in second place, but he's coming into the pits. He'll have to take on enough fuel to go the rest of the way. Now, Kenny Schrader, that's going to move him up into 6th place. So that pit stop that he made is going to work well for him as far as putting him up in the field. Now, here's a battle for the 3rd place, as Mark Martin has caught Dale Earnhardt. But let's first go to the pits and Neil Bonnet.
I'll tell you what, Ned, that was about the quickest stop as I've ever seen. Darrell pulled in. He just switched gears. He never got the car stopped, and they give him a shot of fuel. He's out of here. They're trying to keep that position.
The 6th car, Mark Martin slipping around Dale Earnhardt in number 3. Got to think that the 3 car isn't quite on its feet today as far as the handle's concerned.
Well, he has run good all day, but it's not the form that we saw Earnhardt a year ago when he won this race.
Not that leading edge.
Yeah, but there's a lot of other cars that's running awfully good, too. Maybe he's running as good as he was then, but everybody else runs so much better. Not everybody, but several cars, including Davey Allison and Hut Strickland.
Davey Allison, seeking his 9th Super Speedway win, has him covered by 11 seconds. With 9 to go. Terry Labonte moves in on Jimmy Means in 52.
Yeah, Terry Labonte had been up in the top 10 for a while. He's off the pace. There's Jimmy Means. Jimmy currently being shown in the 28th position. Darrell Waltrip, with that quick pit stop that Neil Bunting described, has stayed in the number 5 position, well, no, 7th position they're showing him now. Ken Schrader moved up to 6th. So it's Allison, Strickland, Martin, Earnhardt, Ernie Irvan. 6th is the car number 25 of Ken Schrader and Darrell Waltrip. 7th, Bill Elliott, 8th, and Ricky Rudd, 9th. Those are the 9 cars that are in the lead lap. Morgan Shepherd is 10th. Harry Gant 11th, Dale Jarrett 12th, Sterling Marlin 13th, and 14th, Mickey Gibbs with a good run here today, and 15th is Bobby Hillin.
Let's take a look at Hut Strickland. He's maintaining second spot with that Buick, but Mark Martin is closing in on it. Right behind Hut Strickland, Mark Martin is making a game run to come up and take that second position. Laps are running down, and this is the race for the moment.
It is. Mark is running very, very good now. Whether Hut has slowed down some, don't know, but Mark Martin is running as well as we've seen him run all day.
Remember that Hut Strickland's best career finish was 4th. There's his wife looking on here in August of 1989.
So if he can stay up there in 2nd place or 3rd place, even if he gets past, that still would be his best finish ever.
Pam looking a little anxious there. Donnie Allison's daughter, as that number 6 car closes in on Hut.
Doesn't have many laps to make it up.
Meanwhile, back up front, Davey Allison by 11 seconds continues to lead the 1987 Rookie of the Year. He won at Talladega, Winston 500 that year. He looks so strong today. That's Davey Allison in that front running position. There's Bobby Allison looking on. Mixed emotions here for him.
Yeah, he's got to be proud, though, that his race car is up there in 2nd place and his son is out there in 1st place. I don't know where the loyalty would lie in a case like this.
Judy told me that it would always lie with the one who paid for the groceries.
Okay, and that's Bobby, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's his race car out there running in 2nd, yeah.
But Davies making them all proud this afternoon here at Michigan. It is the largest crowd by far in the history of this speedway, enjoying what has been a flawless race for Davey Allison, and he is about to establish a new record for this 2-mile track of over 160-mile-an-hour average for the 400-mile route. 196 in the book, 197 when he takes the line this time. After 3 straight years of engine failures, Robert Yates has given him a horse. He looks like he's going to ride right into the victory lane corral here this afternoon at Michigan.
Bill Elliott back in the pits. Thought that he would have enough fuel to go the rest of the way, but apparently they didn't get enough fuel in it, so he had to come back in to take a splash of fuel. This is going to cost Bill, no question about it. Evidently, they made a little mistake on that when he made his other pit stop.
He was running in 8th when he pitted in the Harry Melling car. Elliott back out another time. So for Davey Allison and for the Alabama crowd, what a day this Michigan race is going to turn out to be. 1st and 2nd, Ford can take home another victory. Buick will be 2nd today. Mark Martin 3rd if it stays the way it is. But you better wait until they wave that checker before you call it a race. Here's Joe Rutman's number 75 that's being shown in 19th position. Doyle Ford telling those lap cars to move out of the way and let them through. You crossed fingers down there, Ned.
Crossed fingers, crossed arms, and whatever else, I guess. That's Larry McReynolds we just saw there, the crew chief. came on board with them back about the 1st of April.
And what a change he has made. He used to be a competitor of Allison's. He built the Bobby Ray Jones cars. Dave Nader and Mike Alexander drove in Mobile and Pensacola, Birmingham. And now they're together, and I think he has made a real difference with this Robert Yates organization. Mary McReynolds, who for several years was the crew chief and the mastermind on the Kenny Bernstein car.
I don't think there's any question but what he has made a big difference. And Davey is quick to tell you that, too. He said he brought so much stability among the personnel there. Everybody likes Larry McReynolds, and he's a sharp individual. Came over from the Kenny Bernstein team, as we said, back about the 1st of April.
By 11, this will be one of the biggest leads anyone has ever enjoyed at this track, and it's still about 11 seconds. Can you imagine that?
And it's one of the biggest leads we've seen in a while in Winston Cup racing.
400 miles, and 11 seconds will settle it at the end of the distance, and it will be Davey Allison one more time as he comes around. Checkers are about to be unfurled, and the winner of the Michigan 400 is Davey Allison. Davey Allison scoring his 11th Winston Cup success, his 9th Super Speedway victory. A big time for Robert Yates and company. 11.6 the difference. Here's Mike Joy.
And I'm with a happy Bobby Allison, because, Bobby, today you win either way, Davey or Hutt, but there's only one way you go to the bank.
Well, it was a great day for us. Davey ran a nice race, but Hutt had that Ray Bestis Buick right up there, and I was really happy with that.
You got to be thrilled. What a job he did to hold off Mark Martin there those last 2 laps. What a job he did to hold off Mark Martin those last 2 laps.
Really did a nice job. We were watching him. We weren't saying much, but we were watching him. He did a nice job.
Well, I'll tell you, he learned from one of the masters.
And we'll be back to meet the winner of the Michigan 400, Davey Allison, in just a moment here this afternoon. Davey Allison's won it, the Michigan 400.
Some men would rather live their lives sheltered in the harbor, and some would rather sail into life with the unmistakable scent of Old Spice. Clean, true, and classic. Old Spice, one of the legends of the sea.
Motorcraft energy-conserving oil can help reduce fuel consumption. It can also reduce traffic. Motorcraft quality parts. Peace of mind from Ford.
With Matchlight, you get the best charcoal, Kingsford, with just the right amount of lighter fluid already added. That's why there's only one match from Matchlight, from Kingsford.
In America, your car is not just something you own. It's a part of your life. To give your car complete protection, Texaco is introducing new Haviland Formula 3 motor oil with not one but 3 kinds of protection against heat stress, starting friction, and engine dirt. New Haviland Formula 3. Add more life to your car.
For those of you looking for the big taste of Miller Genuine Draft, in a light beer, we proudly present cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft Light. Also available in 12-ounce sizes.
Davey Allison has recorded his 3rd point-counting victory of the season with a car that's already collected some $700,000 this season. That's the same car that won the Winston 600, and the winner is standing by with Chris Economack.
Well, here's the happy face of the winner. You had a great day, Davey, but who gave you the most trouble?
Well, I tell you what, you know, Dale was awful tough there in the early goings, and then here come that number 12 car, you know, and I kind of had mixed emotions about seeing him up there. It looked good to see Dad's car up there leading with Hutt driving, but I'm glad he finished second instead of first.
Well, you drove a fine race. It was a crash-free race. You looked great. But, you know, around between the 40th and the 50th lap, Davey, you and Dale hooked up in a colossal speed duel that will be talked about for months to come. What were going through your mind there, door handle to door handle? Once ran up, you gave him a little bit of shove from behind, didn't you?
Well, you know, I got on the outside of him going into one, and we rubbed a little bit, so I just nudged him a little bit down the back straightaway to let him know I was still there and I hadn't gone anywhere. But Dale's a tough competitor, and I had a lot of fun out there racing him today. You know, it's just a great win for our Texaco Haviland Thunderbird and Robert Yates Racing, all the guys. You know, Larry McReynolds, I can't say enough about getting him over here, but these guys are the best in the business, and we got our eyes on the championship. We got a long ways to go, and we're going to try to win as many of them as we can.
Everybody seems to say that Davey Allison, the number 28 Haviland car, has the best engine in the business. Is that right?
I think so. But I got to hand it to Robert Yates and Larry Wallace and all the guys that work in the engine shop, because when I mash on this thing, I got to have it pointed where I want to be going, or else I'm going to have my hands full.
Well, when the race started, Davey, were you right for the track, or were you stuck by that rain yesterday?
Well, the car was off a little bit. We made some very minor adjustments, and it just came right to us. The track came to us all day long.
Okay, thanks and good luck. Now let's go to Mike Joy.
Thank you, Chris. These two fellas standing here finished just about this close together. Mark Martin, you sure had a strong run at Hutt there, those closing laps.
Well, it was really great. The Folgers Valvoline Thunderbird was super. The guys were awesome in the pits all day. We probably, you know, we waited a little bit too long to get right on the money, but we did get right on the money. Nobody was going to mess with Davey, I don't think, today. But, you know, we got behind. It didn't make up our... I just told Hutt, we were out of time when we got there. It was over, so... But they had a great run, and you know, I wish Hutt could have won the race, really.
You had a good run, too. Congratulations. Hutt Strickland, I guess we're not surprised that you having these kind of runs anymore. This is getting to be kind of routine. Congratulations.
Well, I tell you what, you know, all the credit's got to go to these guys who work on this Robustus Tic Tac Buick. You know, they've just done a super job for me all year, trying to, you know, working themselves to death, trying to get me in a good car. And, you know, it seemed like today they proved it for me, and I was able to go out and run good.
Best career finish ever.
Well, you know, it's really kind of funny. My other best career finish happened here at Michigan, but that deal was kind of a luck deal. This deal we kind of raced for it, and it makes me feel good.
What is the difference? I mean, you came along, you had a couple of good runs last year. You looked strong at the start of the season, but suddenly you're right there every Sunday, a contender.
Well, you know, it just seemed like our whole team has just really come together. The communications on the team has gotten better, and not that it was bad before, but it's just one of them deals we're just growing and growing, and the thing just seems to be getting better.
Well, a great run today. And Ken, if there was a most improved driver award on this circuit, I think this fellow would have already clinched it for 91.
And for some, a lump in the throat, remembering 1988 when it was Bobby Allison and Davey Allison in the Daytona 500 1 and 2. Today, Bobby Allison's car comes home second. Just take a look at these standings. Here are the top five as Davey Allison wins it and breaks the old speed record by 7 miles an hour. Hutt Strickland second, Martin third. We'll have more in a moment from Michigan.
All of these championship-winning drivers have one thing in common: Goodyear Racing Eagles. The race-winning technology that's found in the Goodyear Racing Eagles can also be found in the world's best-selling line of high-performance street tires, Goodyear Eagle Street Radials. The champions know, and it's why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
A company can learn a lot in 125 years. As you learn, you make your product better and better. 125 years of quality. That's why people who know use Valvoline.
I feel good. Time to go, boys. You've been in there long enough. Hey, we're not even tired. I feel good. So I've checked the mileage and
Hey, we're the auto lights. We're guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
I feel good. Yeah, 2 years no matter how far we go.
A spark plug guarantees that.
We do. Yeah, we're the auto lights.
Right.
So go pull the plug on somebody else.
They say that it's over. They say that you're through. But they just don't know you the way that I do. So bring back the best.
Fact. Ford offers performance that's supercharged and turbocharged. Fact. Ford offers 16, even 24 valve engines. Fact. Mustang GT, Probe GT, Thunderbird SC, Escort GT, and Taurus SHO make up the best-selling line of performance cars, American or import. Call it leadership, call it winning. The simple fact is, Ford is number one. Have you driven a Ford lately?
This CBS Sports Special, the Michigan 400, has been sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Goodyear, the unanimous choice of every single team that races in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. And by the big taste of Miller Genuine Draft Light. Big draft taste comes to life.
The celebration continues for Davey Allison, who led 107 of 200 laps and won himself some $90,650 of that $700,000 payoff. With another one of the stars of today's race, here's Mike Joy.
Well, Ken, Ernie Irvan started toward the back, but you came to the front in a hurry.
I tell you, this Kodak car was running awful good today. You know, once we got to the front, you know, there was 5 or 6 cars running the same speed we were, and couldn't do a whole lot with them, but we're pretty happy with a 5th place run right now.
Daytona 500 winner Talladega coming up next on CBS. What are your fortunes there?
Well, I tell you, our restrictor plate program is really good, and we're looking forward to that. You know, we got Daytona and Talladega, and we had a really good handling car at Daytona, and we think we can go to Talladega, and when it's real hot like that, we need a good handling car again, and we think we can give them a good run for it.
Okay, good run today. We're going to get home for supper.
That's it. Yeah, I can be home by about 8 or 9, huh?
Okay, quick day here today for Ernie Irvan, among others.
That Talladega Die Hard 500, July 28th, right here on CBS. Take a look at the point standings, Ned, after today, and moved up to 4th, Ernie Irvan.
Well, Earnhardt stretched his lead a little bit over Ricky Rudd. He now has a 138-point lead.
And Davey Allison stays where he was in the point standings, as that stays really tight in the battle, as it always does at this time of year. Coming up July 6th, they'll be at Daytona for that 400-miler there. Then July 21st on to Pocono, and July the 28th down at Talladega on that 2.6-mile high bank. A scorching day always in a scorching race. We hope you'll be with us for that. August the 11th, one of our favorites up there at Watkins Glen, New York. Again, the final results on today's race. Davey Allison does it. He wins here at Michigan big time. An 11-second advantage. Lots of series. 11 seconds is considered
close
really
racing.
Close. And here is one of the biggest advantages we've ever seen. Ken Schrader came home in 6th. Darrell Waltrip ended up in 7th. Bill Elliott fell from 9th to 11th late in the going. Dale Jarrett had a good run, found himself in 12th. Looking further back, good to see Larry Pearson, David Pearson's son, getting a 20th place finish. The rookie Ted Musgrave had himself a 26 on today's call, and Wally Dallenbach was up in there in the story. Richard Petty, again, back in 35th spot.
They had a problem, fell out of the race, yeah.
So that's the story, and we're delighted you were with us to enjoy all of this afternoon. It was fun being here at Michigan another time for the 23rd annual. Again, 9 cars retired. The last retirees were Jimmy Spencer, Michael Waltrip, Richard Petty from this 400-mile race. Neil Bonnet, let's get a quick word from him.
Darrell, you know, the 13 didn't come across today. You're going to have to try another number.
Oh, heck, I wore it out. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to start working on number 1. That's what we're going to do from now on. The heck with that 13 stuff.
You've done a bunch of those ones. I'll get some more of them.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Neil. We had a good day.
Thank you, Darrell.
So for Chris Economaki, Ned Jarrett, Mike Joy, and Neil Bonnet, I'm Ken Squire saying so long from Brooklyn, Michigan. Stay tuned for Sports Sunday featuring the finals of the Coca-Cola Reebok Hoop to Hoop coming up from Las Vegas. And join us next Saturday, Major League Baseball, as most of the country will see a Midwestern matchup. St. Louis Cardinals take on the Chicago Cubs, or Boston visits Baltimore. That'll be followed by third-round action of the Federal Express St. Jude Classic from Germantown, Tennessee. 400 has been a presentation of CBS Sports.
In 13 cities and 10 countries across the Pacific, they're playing our song. United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Halfway around the world. Come fly to friendly skies.
Joel discovers an abominable legend.
Yes, I am! Why not?
Well, how about if I kill you? On a dinner date with Destiny.
You have to talk with your mouth full?
Northern Exposure Monday.
This is CBS.
It's Rydell Used Car Showroom, $7,000 and under sale, now through 9 p.m. Monday. We've specially priced 100 used cars and trucks, and all are priced under $7,000. For example, get an 86 Olds 98 for $49.99, or an 88 Chev Beretta for $62.99. And all are backed by our exclusive 5-day money-back policy through 9 p.m. Monday at Rydell Used Car Showroom, 2700 South Washington, Grand Forks. The volume leader. Better cars, lower prices.
On the next Golden Girls.
Rose brought a dog home from the supermarket.
Why, couldn't she just get stew meat like she usually does?
The girls find a new friend. He's lovable.
Oh, he likes me. He must be a male.
Understanding.
Just spilled my guts to someone who drinks out of a toilet.
And prefers wine to water.
Promise me you won't drive.
It's the Ladies and the Tramp on the next Golden Girls.
Sunday night following News 4. Watch News for Your Life tonight with Alan Miller.
Playground basketball, a game where many dream of being the best at a very young age. It's on these playgrounds where these dreams sometime become reality. NBA stars like Connie Hawkins, Earl Monroe, and Michael Jordan began their illustrious careers on the playgrounds. But it's not just for NBA stars, it's for everyone. Players have competed from across the waters in Hawaii to New York City in this year's 3-on-3 Hoop-to-Hoop basketball tournament. And today, the top city will emerge in Las Vegas.
Let's do it.
In playground basketball has come down to Carson, California, and Orlando, Florida. Hotel Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. We welcome you to the second annual Coca-Cola Reebok Hoop-to-Hoop basketball tournament. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Greg Gumbel. For the past month, we have seen a tournament that began in 90 different cities and involving 40,000 players. What it has come down to in the men's division is the winners from 8 regionals converged here in Las Vegas. Yesterday afternoon, 6 teams were eliminated. We are left with 2 teams to vie for the championship. Working alongside me this afternoon, my partner Quinn Buckner, who has seen his share of playground basketball, I am sure, in the past.
Well, I have, Greg. Here's where you earn your stripes. This is affectionately called the blacktop jungle. You come out here and you earn your respect. All of the players in the NBA started here. We have some players who didn't quite make it to the NBA, but yet good players.
We have this year a rematch of last year's championship game. The teams from Orlando, Florida, and Carson, California. The one from Carson, California is the one that came up a winner last year, and they have a player back that the fans may recognize in Eldridge Hudson.
Well, Eldridge Hudson played on the 1987 UNLV team that lost to Indiana in the semifinals. He also played with Armand Gilliam, so he knows big-time pressure. He plays now in Portugal. Good three-point shooter. Play I like.
You said three-point shooter. They have one for Orlando, a guy by the name of Billy Fields, and he does it well.
Well, Billy Fields is somebody that can shoot the ball as well. His senior year in high school, he averaged 41 points. Still a state record in Virginia, but he's here to show that he can shoot the three-pointer on the playground. That's where we all learn to play the game. You like to go back to what you do best.
I said that this is a rematch between the teams from last year. Well, these teams also played yesterday afternoon, and in that game, you might say that there was more than just a little bit of average excitement. You can tell just from from a glimpse of the action yesterday, just how intense the action is.
We got to throw him out the game. That's what we're doing. We got a team right here. We got to do it. I'm telling you, Raptor, this is, I know, I understand what you're saying, but it's a lot of riding on it. You're not supposed to get away with that.
I believe that when a person talks bad to Gilbert, it affects me, Wendell, and Curtis. So we all take it amongst ourselves to just go berserk. And if they want to talk, we're going to talk. They want to be physical, we're going to be physical. It's no problem. However they want to play, we can play.
We're gonna play hard. We're not gonna back down. They bounce us off the pole. I guarantee somebody's going off the pole.
Oh, you may wonder what all the excitement is about. The fact is that the winning team gets to split $100,000. That may be worth fighting about. Working along with us this afternoon along the sidelines, our colleague Jim Gray. Let's check in with him. Jim?
All right, Greg, thank you very much. David Stern has taken the day off, so we have the commissioner of the Coop to Hoop, Dominique Wilkins of the Atlanta Hawks. And Dominique, what's your favorite playground memory?
Well, my favorite playground memory probably was playing against Skip Wise in the playground, who went on and played NBA ball for a while. He was the playground legend coming out of Baltimore, Maryland.
Dominique, these guys don't ever make it to the NBA, otherwise they wouldn't be permitted to play. What's the difference in the caliber of play? How close are these guys?
Well, a lot of them are very close. It's just that they didn't make the sacrifices that a lot of guys did to get to that next level, is going to college or to pros. But it's a lot of talent out here, a lot of guys that's fun to watch on the playground.
I hope that you're getting the same salary that David Stern earns.
Well, you know, he called me and told me that he's going to give me his salary for this weekend, and he's going on vacation to Bahamas.
We're going to split that check. Let's go back to you, Greg.
Jim, Commissioner, thanks very much. We'll take a time out here, and when we come back, the championship game of the second annual Coca-Cola Reebok Coop to Hoop tournament. Stay tuned.
CBS Sports Sunday is sponsored by Coca-Cola Classic. You can't beat the real thing. And by Reebok, makers of the Blacktop Series, the first basketball shoes built for the outside game.
There's a feeling across this land. Every man and woman and child understands. It's a feeling you know and you never outgrow, that the real things always stay real. It's the everyday moments that make life sweet. Coca-Cola Classic makes them complete. It's the pride to be found. It's America's sound. Look around, it's right there to see. When it's real, when it's right, it's a celebration of life. Coke is real, Coke is right. It's a classic celebration of life. Can't beat the feeling. Coca-Cola Classic. Can't beat the real thing.
Sinbad here, going to the court. See, this is where legends are made, outdoors. I got on my blacktop shoes, the first kicks built for the outside games. Let me tell you about the outdoor game. You can shoot from anywhere when you play outdoors. There ain't no rules. How do you know when you're out of bounds when you play outdoors? If you hit that trash can, you went too far. You can't take no charge outside. You get a foot in your chest. That's what happens. Pay your dues outdoors, man. Reebok, blacktop shoes. You seen it? Now go play outside. I got about a 40-inch vertical since I've been wearing these shoes. About a 40, all right, about a 37-inch. I got about a 30.
Welcome back to Las Vegas, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner and Jim Gray as we're set for the championship round of this Coop to Hoop basketball event, second annual. Let's meet the teams taking part this afternoon. First of all, from Orlando, Florida, the Polaroid team. Billy Fields at 6'5". He's the outside shooting ace. 6'8" Ben Tower. Number 6 is 6'6" Horace Naismith. And wearing number 39 will be 6'1" Robert Mayo. For the three amigos from Carson, California, there are actually four of them, Quinn. Left to right are 6'5" Gilbert Wilburn. And wearing number 44, we talked about him at the top, 6'8" Eldridge Hudson. Wendell Wright will be wearing number 35. He stands 6'6". And on the far right, 6'5" Curtis Moore. The officials for this afternoon's competition are Ken Hudson and David Flom. And just a couple of the rules to keep you updated, and of course we'll fill you in as we go along, but this game will be 25 minutes long, 2 12-and-1/2-minute halves, and the clock continues to run except in the last 2 minutes. Foul shots are shot only on shooting fouls after each team's 5th foul. And the winners, as we said, receive $100,000. And with the basketball, Polaroid from Orlando in the light gray shirts. This is Naismith working inside. Horace Naismith, you'll notice the bandage on his hand. Got himself a pretty good cut in yesterday's competition, Quinn.
Yeah, he was a little bit like me. He jumped up and cut his hand on the rim, you see. But yeah, he cut his hand on the rim. So he may be a little bit affected on his offensive game, but he's a good team player.
Long-range three-pointer doesn't fall for Carson and out of bounds. And the ball belongs to Three Amigos from Carson.
Now, you know, this is going to be rough basketball, so I just want the fans to understand. On the playground, that's how it is. It's normally call your own foul, but sometimes you get a call like that, you get in the playground, sometimes you don't. Fans don't like it.
No. Ben Tower guilty of the foul. This is Eldridge Hudson.
Here's the other part. There's no strategy in how you play on the playgrounds. No coaching needed.
Hudson's shot inside doesn't fall. And that's the second personal foul on the team from Orlando. This is Gilbert Wilburn working on his man, locked it out of bounds.
See, you can see that was a hook that got away that had normally been called. They let them play, and I think particularly when you're playing for this kind of money, you got to let folks just go after it and decide the game on the merits of playing.
Here's Billy Fields putting it up, and he draws the foul. And the losers don't go home completely empty-handed. They will share $10,000.
That's not a bad little day's work here.
Here's Naismith going one-on-one on his man, and that's the first bucket of the game.
Now, the other rule that fans need to be aware of, when you play pickup or playground basketball on change of possessions, which means if my team has the basketball and they lose it, they get it back. And you see Naismith using that big body, able to get it past the defender and still get it in the hole. So he's still able to be effective even though he has that bad hand. But as I was saying, change of possession, which means if I lose the ball and you get it, you can't go right to the basket. You have to take it back above the three-point line.
Here's Wendell Wright putting one up, and he draws the foul from Billy Fields. So that's 3 team fouls on Orlando.
Got a little early filling out here because, you know, yesterday when we were watching, it was a lot more picturesque basketball than this.
Eldridge Hudson stays on the boards inside, and the game is tied. And as you saw at the beginning, this can be physical basketball.
No, not can be, will be.
Ben Tower. And that's out of bounds, and right away we get a few elbows swinging.
Well, we're talking about it being elbow, and you see Billy Fields has got himself grabbed, and there was a flying of the elbows. But again, there's a lot at stake here, and there's going to be some emotions to fly. It's going to be incumbent upon the officials. Now, the shot will be taken, and you'll see right here, number 38, you'll see him get hit with the left hand, get hit right in the face. And then he throws an elbow, and he got Wilburn, and Wilburn took it and was disappointed. But you see, they'll just keep playing.
So Billy Fields is going to take a rest here, and there's the quick pass inside for Eldridge Hudson. Now, Robert Mayo was at the center of much of the dispute in yesterday's matchup between these two teams.
Yeah, but Robert Mayo is my kind of player. Yeah, that's a good call right there on Eldridge Hudson. Robert Mayo's a tough player. Eldridge Hudson just threw a little shot at Ben Tower, trying to get his attention, take his mind off of playing basketball.
Naismith trying to go baseline. He got it up and got the foul.
Well, he's got a decided weight advantage. We talk about normally height advantage, but Naismith has got the weight advantage. You'll just watch. Once he gets his body behind him, watch him just power. He just powers it up, and there's not much Wendell Wright can do to stop him.
Horace Naismith goes 6'6", 260. And look at the battle going on inside. And Mayo is called for the foul after close to pulling down Gilbert Wilburn.
Well, that's a mismatch there, so that you're going to see the Carson team go after Mayo. But Mayo's tough. I'm telling you, I like him because he'll just keep playing hard.
Each team with 14 fouls. We're going to start shooting free throws here. Naismith with the rebound and the screen. Mayo fakes, goes in, and is fouled. Robert Mayo freely admits that he'll do a little talking out there today.
Well, he'll do the talking, Greg, because what he wants to do is take your mind off of what you're trying to do. This is, hey, street basketball. You do that all the time. That's how you get respect. You talk. You do whatever it takes to win.
Naismith for Ben Tower. Ben Tower goes 6'8", 230 pounds. Played at Michigan State for Judd Heathcote and played with Scott Skiles and Sam Vincent.
Yeah, he's got some play. He's been playing some basketball, but I tell you what, one of the things you got to consider here, it's hot out here, and they played 4 games yesterday. Dehydration is going to be an issue.
Naismith thought he had the takeaway, but was called for the foul. So we'll take a timeout with 7 minutes, 27 seconds to play in the first half, and Orlando leading it by a score of 6-4. We'll be back to Las Vegas with more in just a moment.
I'm wearing my black top shoes built for the outdoor game. Let me tell you about the outdoor game. There ain't no rules. These white lines you see on the ground symbolize nothing. They mean nothing. It means if you park your cars for a party, put them in the lines. How you know we out of bounds when you're outdoors? Let me tell you. If you run into them people on the bench, you went too far. When you run into that pole, you took a charge you should not have taken. You were stupid. That's the outdoor game. Reebok, black top shoes. You seen it? Now go play outside. That's why the outdoor game is different than the indoor game. Pain, Jack. I'm talking about pain.
People who drink Minute Maid orange soda aspire to great heights. The big orange taste of Minute Maid orange soda, the official soft drink of the NBA.
Minute, no better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day. Fine Minute.
American Airlines proudly announces service to London's Heathrow Airport. And with our expanded service from across the U.S., American will become the #1 American airline to London. So come with us to Great Britain's first city on America's #1 airline.
Saturday, the whiz Ozzie Smith ignites the Cardinals against Ryne Sandberg and the hard-hitting Cubs. Baseball's biggest moments are on CBS.
Orlando leading by 2. They've hit 3 out of 4 from the field so far. And here's Gilbert Wilburn at the line. And misses the first free throw of the game. Gilbert, 6'5", 210-pound, 27-year-old. Played at New Mexico State. And he missed them both. Three-pointer, Ben Tower.
Even though three-pointers should be a factor, you'll see a lot of them go short.
Wilburn. And that misses.
Over the back.
And Eldridge Hudson, nice pass.
That's what you got to do. See, the tough thing about 3-on-3 basketball, you can't hide. And we were talking about the heat there. You'll see the big body there of Eldridge Hudson be able to take advantage of some of the lack of strength. And it's important that everybody understand that and then looking to find the open man. When you help out, there's always somebody open. Hudson finds the man. Look at him. Great move inside. Sees the defense coming, and that's it. When somebody comes to help out, there's always a player open. You get him the ball, you can get a hoop.
One-on-one basketball still has a certain amount of teamwork to it. Here's Billy Fields. Inside. 8-6 Orlando lead. And that'll be an offensive foul. David Flom says yes, offensive foul, and the ball will go over to the other side. And Ben Tower is down and hurt.
Well, you learn a lot of things in playground basketball. One of them, the things you learn is how to take charge. But as important as taking the charge is you've got to be able to protect yourself.
Ben Tower holding his right hand, and he'll come to the side, and we'll take a break here. Let's see what happened.
Well, Ben tries to get over to get in position to take this charge, and I said you have to protect yourself, including the fall. You'll see his right hand goes down, and he gets his hand caught under him, and he dislocates his finger.
Ben's come to the side for a little medical help. He'll be back, don't you think?
No question he'll be back. He got it pulled back into place. He'll sit down. A lot at stake, I guarantee you. He'll be back in this game.
Well, we talked about Horace Naismith and his bad finger, and Robert Mayo's playing on a hobbled ankle. But Orlando is leading 8-6, and here's Naismith taking it to the basket. And the three amigos chase it down. Hudson, a little give and go. That's nice.
Nice little team basketball right there. If your man doesn't pay attention to you when you pass the ball, cut to the basket, you can get it back. It works in playground, it works in the NBA, it works every day.
8-8 tie with 6 minutes to play here in the first half. Mayo three-pointer. And neither team has shot well, at least not as well as we have seen them in earlier games. Let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim?
What happened to your finger here?
Dislocated it.
Has this happened before to you?
No, not like that.
You'll be able to return?
Yeah, I think I'll be back in there.
Okay, Greg.
Yeah, we're pretty sure he'll be back in.
Yeah, he'll get back in there, but that hurts a lot. That is as painful injury you can get, not having it broken. But again, what's at stake? Good play.
Wendell Wright scores and draws the foul.
Well, when you shoot a jump shot, you can fake, and you see right here, it just fakes Billy Fields out of position, and Wendell Wright, a much stronger player, takes it up hard to the basket, trying to complete a three-point play.
And for the first time, the three amigos have the lead, 10-8. Three-point attempt on the way and good by Wendell Wright.
That was a change of possession that they could take advantage of, because when Wright got it, he was standing behind the three-point line, so he didn't have to go further back.
Now a 13-8 lead, Billy Fields for three, and that's what he can do.
What happened to him when these two played yesterday is Eldridge Hudson hit 4 three-pointers right off the bat, and they put this group down, and they really struggled to get back in the game, did Orlando.
More shot, no. Mayo rebounds. Almost a takeaway. Fields, three-pointer off the glass.
Greg, that was win-aided. That was a win-aided shot. It was in the air, and you can see the wind just blow it to the glass.
Well, even those sharpshooters have to have a little help every now and then.
Need a little help from your friends.
Wild shot put up, no good. Saved by Robert Mayo. Here's Billy Fields again, and that one comes up a little short.
Greg, that was win-aided too.
Timeout on the court. Orlando with a 1-point lead, and we'll continue with more from Las Vegas in just a moment.
A Midsummer's Night Scorcher, the All-Star Game on CBS.
Lately, at more and more homes across the country, you'll find John Deere lawnmowers. Perhaps it's because our mowers are built to handle any kind of terrain, or because homeowners give John Deere products the highest marks in consumer tests, or that they have the best resale value in the industry. Or it may simply be that more and more homeowners just like having the nicest looking lawn in the neighborhood.
No better way to face the day. When the sun comes up, then I'm feeling fine. 'Cause the AM surely is my favorite time.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's what more men reach for, to prepare, to prevent, to protect. Speed Stick, 110% protection.
No better way to face the day. No better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
How do I know where to get my brakes done right?
Come to Midas. You get a lot of value for the price, plus peace of mind, knowing the job will be done right. That's why more people come to us for brakes, knowing that nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Get huge savings on big names during Sears 4th of July paint sale, like Weather Beater, Easy Living, Dutch Boy, Olympic Stain, and more. This premium Weather Beater low luster satin finish on sale only $13.99. Hurry, sale ends July 6th at Sears.
You talk about players that have the great jump shot. You like to have people like Billy Fields on your team because you know he can knock down the jumper. He's got great range, but you got to have a heart and soul of the team. That's got to be Robert Mayo. He likes that shot.
You know, we talked about the little intensity between these two teams in yesterday's game, and we saw them late yesterday afternoon. They were friendly and shaking hands, and we knew that was something of a facade.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we even talked to him about it. Oh, there are no feelings that'll carry over. I told you, Greg, there's no chance it won't carry over with what's at stake.
Billy Fields with 8 points leads Orlando, and Wendell Wright with 5 leading Carson, California.
But what's important is Ben Towers back in the game, dislocated finger and all.
Billy Fields puts a three-pointer down and draws the foul.
Shoot it, Billy.
Billy Fields played his college ball at Providence. And as Quinn mentioned at the top, his senior year in high school set a state record in Virginia, 41.5 points a game.
That's big-time shooting there with pressure coming at you from the three-point line. Billy Fields trying to complete the four-point play.
One shot. We gonna pick you like this, you know.
Billy says if he's a member of the winning team, he'd like to use some of that money to help his dad buy a retirement home in Florida.
You know what's good about this is these guys have an opportunity to make some money. I think that helps them a lot. But you got to remember, these guys have other jobs, so they just do this in their spare time.
And not a bad brand of basketball for working in spare time.
Oh, no question. Billy Fields, for example, with the ball right here, is a landscaping manager. So, you know, it's good that he can play, but he also has something else he can do as well.
Here's Billy on the drive, and the whistle blows. He traveled. And Billy's going to take a rest now, and Robert Mayo back in for Orlando.
These substitutions are going to be important. I keep talking about the Heat. You watch Orlando. Having played in the Heat a lot, they are very aware that they need to make substitutions to keep fresh players in the game.
Tower doesn't find the range as we wind down toward 3 minutes remaining to be played in the first half. 18-13, Orlando in the lead.
They got to get on the block. They got Mayo trying to guard Wendell Wright.
And that shot by Curtis Moore draws the foul from Naismith. The Three Amigos beat the representatives from Hawaii 49-30, from New York 42-40, and Orlando 45-29. Orlando, meanwhile, knocked off Philadelphia and Dallas, lost to this same Carson, California team, and then beat Cleveland to reach this championship game. 2.5 minutes to play, first half. 18-14, Orlando.
I'd have to think, having played Carson before and Orlando losing, you play harder when you lose to a team. So I would say that might give a slight advantage to Orlando because they may have a little bit more incentive to try to come back and beat this Carson team.
Foul is on number 35, Wendell Wright.
Well, you got mismatch inside with Tower being guarded by Wilburn. You got to get him the ball when you have Tower down there.
Wilburn 6'5", Tower 6'8". The lob towards Naismith, and a nice block on the play by Curtis Moore. Right. For Wilburn, out of bounds to Orlando.
Good idea, but that was better defense. You drew the defense kick, but it didn't work. If you don't complete the shot, you got to complete it here. I mean, this is where you learn it most of all, Greg, is to complete a pass. Once you get it and you go to the hole, this is how you learn it here on the playground.
Billy Fields back in for Orlando. He has the ball, looking for a shot, forces it up and draws the foul. Is it fair to say all fouls are not called in playground basketball?
Oh, that's a mild understatement. I mean, the guys, they toughen you up out here. You call fouls. If they don't think a foul, you know, you get the term sissy, chump, you get the whole deal. Again, this is for respect. So you got to, what we say, tough it out and just play.
You know, in the early stages of this tournament, when it's just getting underway at the regional sites, they aren't officiated, and it's call your own foul. And that makes for a little tougher game.
Makes for a little more of a mental game, because what will happen is that a guy will play through a foul, and then you're trying to figure out how tough is this guy. And once you start doing that, you get out of playing your game.
Naismith working his way in.
Got to get inside. Wilburn can't guard Naismith.
Batted away on the pass inside, and Heldridge has it taken away, and here's Billy Fields. We have a half a minute to play in the first half. 19-14, Orlando in the lead. And there's a steal. And the try for the save, Hudson tracks it down. 20 seconds, first half. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Fields has it. Fields on his way to the basket, it's hammered.
Well, Greg, I don't think he cleared the three-point line. Remember, we talked about Billy Fields, number 38. You have to go across the three-point line and change the possessions. I'm not sure he did that, and there's some discussion as to whether or not, in fact, he did get over the three-point line after the change.
You saw Curtis Moore pointing and then arguing with the official. Meanwhile, the first half clock is winding down, and that three-point shot is no good. And that'll do it for first half action here in Las Vegas. Orlando leading it at halftime by a score of 19-14. And the Coop de Hoop will continue from Las Vegas after this message and a word from your local station.